Hi, today we'll be evaluating online pet shop financial model using input sheet, revenue analysis, fixed asset details, startup summary, financial statements, project evaluation, break-even analysis, dashboard, and diagnostic tools. This will help the company to evaluate its performance and growth over the 5 years period. Moving on to the input sheet, it includes the assumptions made, for instance, investment made from the investor as well as loans taken. Moreover, this also contains the products, their segmentation with their respective prices. This also includes the salaries paid to various employees of the business. Moreover, this also contains the capital expenditure as well as operating expenses incurred by the company. Moving on to the revenue analysis, this includes sales projections, which is done using the advertising budget. The company is heavily dependent on advertising budget it spends. For instance, currently the advertising budget that is spent by the company is $5,000. If it's moved to $1,000, the number of customers generated monthly will be reduced as the advertising budget is reduced, which will lead to a lower sales. Hence, this helps us know that the business is heavily dependent on the advertising budgets as it leads to newer customers. Moving on to the fixed asset details. Fixed asset details allows the business to know the depreciation expense each month for its fixed assets. This will help the company to record the expense in the P&Ls, which will allow the business to not over or understate their profit and show the fair representation in P&L. Moving on to the startup summary. Startup summary shows funding against total expenses. In this case, the funding is greater than the total expenses incurred. Furthermore, startup summary also shows the breakup of variable as well as fixed costs. This will allow the business to identify where they can reduce their costs and hence reduce their expenses in the long term. Moving on to the monthly P&L, this allows the business to track its performance throughout on monthly basis using gross profit, net income before taxes as well as net income after taxes. Yearly P&L allows the business to track its performance on yearly basis using revenue, gross profit, and net income after taxes. Furthermore, cash flow statement allows the company to know from where the cash is being generated, whether from operating, investing, or financing activities. Furthermore, this will allow the company to know its cash in hand at the year end. Moving on to the balance sheet, this will allow the company to know their assets as well as their liabilities and equity held by the business at the year end. This will allow the company to know and compare for previous years. Furthermore, moving on to the project evaluation, this will allow the company to value its performance as well as the valuation of the company. Furthermore, this will also allow a company to know the burn rate or the cash burn that takes place each year. Furthermore, break-even analysis tells the company to know the break-even sales it has to make in order to avoid making losses on yearly basis as well as monthly. Moving on to the dashboard, this will allow the company to have a virtual representation for the better understanding of its users. This will help the company to summarize its performance throughout the years in graphical manner. Lastly, diagnostic tools will allow the business to know its findings using the income statement, cash flow statement, and break-even analysis. This will help the company to know how they've been performing in specific manner.